What's up, Denver Kids people? Let's start out by giving a huge shout out to Kyle Clark for being here tonight, man. You know, there's a lot of places Kyle could have been tonight, and I know for a fact because he came from another event where he got an award for his work in journalism. So thank you, Kyle, for being with the community that you serve every day. That means a lot. He mentioned his word of thanks. He's raised over $18 million. Come on, that's huge. Supported hundreds of nonprofits. Kyle Clark is doing some really great work in philanthropy, so thank you, friend. Including for Denver Kids in December, we were on Word of Thanks. We raised over $58,000 from donors across the state. And one more thing, Kyle. I don't care what anyone says. I think you have way more charisma and integrity than a ficus tree. All right, my friend? So, all right. If you know, you know. I imagine you'll Google that later, right? So, again, I couldn't go on. Be remiss if I didn't take a minute to thank all our sponsors. So, our diamond sponsors, Linda Giglio and their family have been involved with Denver Kids for years. Her son was even a mentor for us, so that's so great. The University of Colorado is here. Where you at? We're so excited about their new direct admission program. This program guarantees admission to CU Denver for eligible juniors and seniors. And I've already been talking to some of our kids this year. They go, hey, mister, guess what? I already got accepted to CU Denver. I'm like, oh, all right. So they're doing their part. Where's Wagner Equipment at? Wagner's done great stuff in inspiring our kids in equipment, doing equipment rodeos. They get them out in these $1 million tractors, and I get a little worried, but they're in good hands. So I'm really excited. President Braden Wagner is here, and he's on the slate to join our board of directors next fiscal year. So thank you, Braden. Appreciate you, man. Wheeler Trigg O'Donnell is here with founding partners Malcolm Wheeler, Jack Trigg, and partner Hugh Gottschalk. The firm and many of its employees have supported us for many years, so we're so thankful for that. Our platinum sponsors, 5280 Magazine, Denver Rotary Club Foundation, Kiewit Infrastructure, Construction, and Engineering. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Morgan Stanley is here, and UBS Highline Wealth Management. Yeah, let's go. This is good. This is the fun part, huh, Kyle? And to our sponsoring organizations, the Rotary Club of Denver. Where's our Rotarians at? What about Denver Children's Foundation? Where are you guys at? All right. And Denver Public Schools, where are my DPS people? Can we bring more wine to the DPS table, please? We got to get them riled up a little bit. So I just want to say, wow, Denver Kids is looking good for being 80 years old, don't you think? And you all coming in your 80s regalia is amazing. There's so many great outfits. I'm just glad there are no photos of me from the 80s, because that would be really, what? What are you guys looking at? But 80 years, it really can transform anything, from a city skyline to the dreams of our young people who call it home. And this anniversary just isn't a milestone, it's a testament to endurance, transformation, and vision. In 80 years, the world's witnessed remarkable feats. The time it took to build the Great Wall's grandest sections, the span between the Wright brothers' first flight and putting humanity on the moon. And then there's the story of Wally Funk. Now, Wally had passed every physical, mental, and technical test required to be an astronaut, but she was denied every time because of her gender. Then in 2021, at the age of 82 years old, she became the oldest person in space. So that's just incredible. So 80 years, you can do anything. And Pete Wall, there's hope for you to get on the moon still. Where are you at, Pete? So we're really excited about that. Just like those monumental achievements, Denver Kids has evolved through perseverance, partnership, shaping futures and rewriting possibilities for thousands of young people to achieve their dreams. This year, we also celebrate Colorado turning 150 years old. And somehow, I'm amazed, but I'm also comforted that Denver Kids has been there for more than half of this great state's existence. It's so amazing. And maybe in another 80 years, we'll figure out ski traffic, right? I don't know. Well, I don't know, you know. But in our history, a single spark of support can ripple through generations. Kyle and I were talking 80 years, changing not just one life, but communities. That's the power of longevity. We're breaking cycles of intergenerational poverty and making education equally accessible for all. And this is really amazing. On average, 1 in 3 of Denver Kids graduates are the first in their families to graduate high school. How about that? 62% are the first in their families to attend post-secondary education, college and university. So we are changing it for families. You know, the success of the work is really in the fluidity and adaptability of our programs. We never prescribe to a student what they should do, what success looks like. Instead, we walk alongside them, and they choose their paths, and we support them in achieving their goals, and it works. And I'll tell you why. Last year, Denver Kids had a 94.8% on-time graduation rate for all our seniors, 94.8%. That was one of our highest graduation rates, is one of our biggest senior cohorts we've ever had, so we're really proud of that. 90% of those students graduated with plans that include college, apprenticeships, universities, joining the workforce, and the military. So we're so proud that whatever our students decide to do, we walk alongside them. Thank you. Denver Kids is also measuring significant gains in social emotional learning. And long before social emotional learning was even a word, Denver Kids was living in its principles. In 1946, our mentors and staff were helping young people build confidence, relationships, and resilience, skills that helped shape their futures as much as academics did. Today, Denver Kids continues that same legacy by combining proven evidence-based practices with the heart and human care that have always been at the center of our mission. Of course, none of this would be possible without our amazing board of directors, staff, and volunteers. Would the current board of directors of Denver Kids please stand and be recognized? Did you bring your own cheering section? If you're a former board member, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And now the heartbeat of our program. Would all the Denver Kids staff please stand and be recognized? How about any former staff in the room? Please stand and be recognized. You know, 80 years from now, in 2106, let me say that again, 2106, I'll be a young 130 years old. But Denver Kids will stand as a living testament to what happens when a community invests not just in the students of today, but the citizens of tomorrow. If we look ahead to that future, our young people will face challenges beyond what we can currently imagine. I can imagine, but yet their strength will come from the values and the mentorship which we're nurturing right now. When our mentors listen, when our donors invest, and when our advisors lift up every child's potential, we are laying the foundation for a world where resilience, not scarcity, is inherited. The future isn't something that happens to us, it's something that we shape, one child at a time. The future isn't simply something that can happen to us, it's something we shape, one child at a time. One more time? No. You know, I was talking with one of our students recently, Gladys. She's a senior at Rocky Mountain Prep Smart. And she was reminiscing, because, she's a senior now and it goes way back, and talking about when she was a freshman and she met her advisor, Carrie. Where's Carrie at? Hi, Carrie. Before working with Denver Kids, Gladys didn't know how to speak up, venture out of her comfort zone, or confidently speak in front of groups. Her advisor, Carrie, quickly began to work on these skills by building confidence, sense of self, and practicing public speaking. Right after that, Gladys started taking opportunities at Denver Kids, including going with the National Leadership Academy to Baja, Mexico to build homes for families. Yeah, and then she came back and took an internship at Denver Health, which ignited a passion for pediatric nursing. So she's now getting ready to pursue a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, where she plans to serve patients but take part in culturally inclusive healthcare. In all her wisdom, we said, hey, Gladys, what do you want people to say about you when you're 80 years old? And she said, and I love this, I hope people say I was a nurse who served with a healing heart. I want my family and friends to be able to say that I laughed often, loved deeply, and came to leave the world a little bit brighter than I found it. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So let's give a shout out to Gladys, but also the entire class of 2026 this year. Next, I want to introduce you to another graduating senior, Carlos, and his advisor, Millie. Let's take a look.